into the game now, 5 versus 3. Kenny S will try and recover the situation, but Steele's got such a fantastic position. I don't see Kenny S having a chance here. But why do I ever doubt him as he takes Steele down very quick again? Gets dinked in the process, but still, the fact he even got the kill is impressive.
Yeah, Steele thought he had that dead to rights. Saw the smoke thrown, thought, yep, I'll jump out on that. Kenny somehow reads it. Love to see it from his POV. It looked like he was actually predicting it.
Yeah.
Either way, brings us to just a one-man disadvantage, which is actually totally workable given that they're going to work toward the B site and let Kenny go for contact. 11 HP, as you say, he did get dinked in the process of that exchange, but all he has to do is find one more on the take, and look how passive Luminosity are willing to play this. They almost want them to walk into the crossfire. We saw this exact same setup previously with PKL in the position that Showtime is. It did go G2's way. That was round 7, if I'm not mistaken, but Shox, good find of the first. Nekka slides out. That's going to leave him nowhere to go when Existence comes in from the catwalk, and once again the smoke down. PKL walks out spotted, but Existence was going back to check the stairs. HP is low, but they're up against the AWP. Does have an 8. Oh, if he was a little bit sooner, he might have had a chance on that.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Yell. The HP not even a factor really now, considering he's got the AWP, but maybe he's got the information as he pulls out the pistol now. Flashbang goes in, has to go for the defuse here, and he will be able to do some damage towards Kenny, but not enough for the killing blow just yet. Needs to fully defuse the bomb here. Doesn't look like he has a chance. He's starting to flail somewhat, but there's the first frag. Molotov on top of the bomb. That smoke is absolutely everything. Can go for the defuse. Has got the kit. 2, 1. Can Kenny do anything about it? He can. Oh my goodness. Kenny comes in and saves it with 1 second to spare. It felt like that was enough from Yell, the AWP. Not useful at all in that situation. It's the pistol that goes for the defuse, the full smoke, but not quite enough there. Kenny S denies him at the very last second.
Yeah, obviously had that information to go to the pistol. There's actually an AK down on the site, but didn't even have time to go for that in the end. Nearly gets away with it. G2 deny. We go 8 to 3. It puts the max round bonus to full. You can see it below the 5 players on the right-hand side. $3,400 that they receive each and every round they lose from this point onward until such time that they win a round.
And sometimes
it's something they're struggling for.
That could be a blessing and a curse. If you win one round with just one player surviving, your money's still going to be wrecked for the next round, and then you've got that reset potential, which can be so disastrous on the CT side, especially in this sort of scenario. 8-3 down, you really need those rounds you win to be very clean and hopefully keep 3 or 4 players up. But for now, they might even get a chance to do that. The CZs are out. They've done some pretty disastrous things this event. We've seen plenty of CZ highlights, as we always do, but they've lost the first frag. Existence actually looking pretty sharp today, Matt. He's finding plenty of kills here with that AK-47. Body, great positioning here. Could find himself a couple of kills. They're going to come up the ladder. And Peekaboo, he's ready for them. He'll get the first, but
Showtime immediately bails.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? That's not for me. I'm going to fall back here.
Hawk knows he's there. Showtime wants to almost bait him in at this point in time. Flash up goes, but, excuse me, it was a smoke rather, but doesn't matter. Body stayed there the whole time. Leaves us with just 2 players remaining on the Luminosity side. 44 seconds. We're starting to get a little bit more pace to the game. Starting to get perhaps G2's confidence up, and certainly against pistols, they shouldn't have any problem. I say that, and then of course, immediately Shox goes down, which gives away an AK-47. That might be just the goal at this point in time, is to carry that AK over.
I would say so. That's probably a fair assessment. The bomb we planted towards A now. Neck can still be holding on to the AK-47 and CZ. They've both got armor, so might as well hold on to that. It's very unlikely they can do really anything with this particular round. They have not got a kit. Going to save a flashbang on those CZs as well. That's going to hold up towards the B side. But well done from G2. Another clean round. I would say they're pretty much fine for the rest of the half at this point. There's going to be close to $14,000 for Existence going to the next round. Everyone will pretty much be up to 5 digits after this one with 4 players surviving. So there we go. Luminosity desperately trying to hold on to what they can. You did mention the maximum loss bonus. I would say the double orb setup is almost a certainty for the next round. For Luminosity, finally got that loss bonus up. You've got enough to get double orbs out, and your gun rounds aren't really going too well. I would say PKL and Yell will bring those out into the next. We'll see. That would be my call at this point. I'm the coach to say, let's mix things up. We really do need to post these last few rounds. Getting too comfortable. Shoxy, the only player to be dropped, but they will pick up that AK-47 and CZ. Remember, they've got armor as well, so double orb combo, will it be a potential? We'll have a look as we get into round number 13 here. There's the first steal. Yet to buy. We'll see if he wants to purchase the weapon as well. What's going to happen to 4 rifles?
Yeah, I was going to say, he already has armor, so it's not like he even has to go glass cannon at that point in time. Could have dropped one over as well. But Yell's been absolutely fantastic on it. There's no question about that. He's got 11 kills in total. He's the highest on the scoreboard for his team. Problem is that even when they've gotten the opening pick a number of rounds, they're losing map control on the opposing side of the map. Started off very well, first 3 rounds, but that's all they've gotten. First 3 after gun, I should say. Not to be misled. Yes. It was G2 that certainly won the pistol.
It was looking like G2 could collapse after in the pistol, but they've really stabilized at this point. Remember, Luminosity's pick here, overpass, lose this, and it sets you up for such a disappointing series. There's a lot of pressure on that second map, which is G2's cash pick, and obviously that's a very high fragging map. You've got a ton of skill and pedigree on the G2 side. Will Luminosity be able to overcome them? I'm not sure, but still, in this one for now, 9-3, another full buy for the Brazilians. Didn't go for the double orb setup as I speculated. But G2 have.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a T-sided double op setup. Why not? That's getting confidence. We said we'd see it. We said it would likely be Smiths. It's Shox on the T side of all people. Now, keep in mind, when Shox is feeling it and when Shox is on, he certainly can be explosive with that weapon. Cobblestone is proof of that in 2016 to 2017. Don't know that this is the time for it. And he's at a modest game, we'll say. Existence actually up there with Kenny leads the way, both on 11. So all the leaders for both teams on 11.
Make their way in slowly towards B. This is what we call the contact play. As slowly as you possibly can, silent until you find that contact. And it looks like Neck is ready for them, takes the first player down, but he's going to smoke towards the pillar at this point and try and push through. Maintains the man advantage. That's great play by him.
That's very smart. Because he was absolutely going to go down at sandbags if they continue to wrap in that position. The smoke buys time, puts Showtime the other direction. Molotov separates them. He goes down, but Neck went back in, and he's able to find Shock to immediately have Monster. So again, it's Luminosity that controls the situation. Back the other direction. Again, they find early picks, but they give something up on the other side of the map with 30 seconds. G2 can absolutely transfer. Thankfully, Smiths was jumping because Yell clips him in the shins. It puts him down to 16. The second shot doesn't land in the bomb to be planted. Neck tries to go for the spam through the boxes, but Kenny was wise to it. Positioned himself just off to the right, nearly caught him as well. Actually, through the box, did make contact. 25 HP still for Kenny. As the retake begins for Luminosity, one kit next to the one that has it. Good find as Kenny had to get aggressive. They knew where Yell was. They wanted the op down. That'll help retake at least and hold angles on the site, but they still have to get the rifles in position. And Existence is at long. They're not ready for it. They've got the other kill, but to a one-on-one. Existence has to find it. He swatted the shadow. Still, PKL finds the kill. Gets to the kit, I think he's just barely got time.
Yeah, he's absolutely fine there, so well done. But remember, we kind of built this scenario up, Matt. Once you reset that loss bonus, you go back to 0. If only one player survives in the round you win, you're still going to be very poor. Luckily, he does salvage AWP, so there is something, but they're not going to have a perfect buy here. Existence are lucky to win this one. You can see him pre-firing at this point, hoping PK would run into his crosshair, but well played by him. He does pick up the defuse there after finding the kit after that, but you can see going into round number 14 here, this is all that money invested. Luckily, they did save the AWP, so they still get rifles out and a pretty decent amount of utility. But lose this one, they're going to be full eco for that last round, or full force buy, I should say. The money will just be non-existent. Body go for the B rush here, and what a shot to open things up. Neck will go down, and now it's up to Shoxy to push through, and this is going to be a round for G2. Fast pace, finding the shots. About this. Yell will find one in return, but the bomb has been planted so early on, it's now a 4 versus 2.
Good prediction and anticipation. They've read the fact that there's been a player inside of pit every single round when they get toward the B site. Shox immediately smoked off from sandbags, was able to push and take that player down. It's been a problem for them because whether they're hunting it and get caught by a second player who's been baited in from jungle, or whether they just can't win the duel cleanly and end up losing a player in the process, it certainly has hindered their takes. It's much, much better off this time. Yell has to hold. You pointed it out, reset with one player. This AWP is essential to carry over right now for Luminosity, especially going into what will be round 15. So 10-4 for G2 T side as well. And you mentioned it, Luminosity's map choice. That's a problem when you look at the overall context of the series.
Yeah, and it's going to cash next, and we said a fragging map, and so far Luminosity looks very flat in that department. All of G2 seem to be getting fired up now. It's great to see Shoxy hitting all the shots required. Existence with some good moments as well. Smith finding impact kills, and Kenny, yes, he's had some great contributions so far. So the whole squad looking great. They found double digits on the T side. It bodes very well for this series. As we go to round number 15 here, the money has been reset for LG, but 2 players did stay alive. That's the AWP of Yell and PKL's FAMAS. So they got the force buy around those weapons. CZ's coming out, of course. Why not? And Showtime on the SMG, more specifically the UMP, which is going to have a little bit of utility with it. But 11-4 on the T side of Overpass, that's almost a death sentence, I would say. LG desperately need this round. It is their pick. They can probably pull it back if they win the pistol in the second half, but it won't be comfortable at all. As the imports will come through. Luminosity with the last chance now. I feel like Yell has to be more aggressive this round. Let's go for a pick. Let's go for a boost perhaps. We're sure we haven't really seen much creativity in this sniper play. He's been pretty decent hitting the shots. We haven't seen many boosts coming in. We haven't seen very aggressive plays towards Shaw, for example. I'd like to see him mix things up as we go for the double orb setup again on the T side. Shoxy and Kenny S to wield those weapons.
Kenny has been impressive as well in this position. He's been reading the aggression from Luminosity. Remember that shot he hit on Steel? Showtime already burrowed into the bathrooms. Once again, it'll be lopsided in their defense. They have to try and gamble on this to some extent because without the weaponry, it's B to be held by an AWP. This used to be more prominent, in fact. A lot of teams obviously now play long, but I remember Astralis at a time with Device. They used to try and always rush toward Monster, always try and get there and get the early pick. Guardian did it for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the first time we've really seen Yao out of position from middle or long. So he did go for a bit of an adaptation play there. Fired off a shot, didn't quite connect though. As long control comes in for G2 once more. Kenny S in existence leading the charge there. Smiths with the bomb towards middle. CT spot the players towards long, but haven't really got the weaponry to challenge so far. Smiths spraying wildly through the smoke. Connects one bullet towards Steel. The G2 getting closer and closer towards that A bomb site. Yao left alone on B. He's the only one with a significant weapon, the orb. But that's where they're going to hedge. They're going to fall back and try and see if they can crack open that side of the map. 35 seconds. Haven't got much time to do so here. If Yao finds an opening kill and stays alive, that could be everything. It's been given to existence that he'll try and fake towards A. You can see him alone towards long right now. He's trying to open things up, trying to suggest they're going towards that A site. Shoxy already through Monster. Existence needs to go now if he's going to pull over a rotation.
Shots from Shocks. They've already identified the player onto short, onto the sandbags. Meanwhile, over toward A, PKL does win against Existence. That forces the take on a B without that much damage done for those who will be rotating. However, it certainly buys them space. Yell has done well to stay alive behind the sandbags.
That's all he had to do, Matt. Stay alive. Wait for the retake. They got the man advantage here. No point giving up the AWP for nothing. But unfortunately, he will be dropped eventually. 4 versus 4. No kits available, and they're dropping like flies. This position from Body is absolutely everything. Looking for the clean sweep, couldn't quite find it at the end, but that's going to be enough to guarantee the round. Kenny has to close things out. 3 players to survive, and on the T side of their opponent's pick, they will be winning 11-4. This is fantastic news for G2.
Yeah, much better. And we said it. I mean, Luminosity is probably the right opponent for them at this point in time. Yesterday they got battered. They had a lot of problems, a lot of changes within the team, and this is a game in which they can build up confidence, start to feel each other out as teammates, and get back into the rhythm, especially for a guy like Smiths, who's, yeah, okay, we said it yesterday, he's going to have some idea of the way they're playing. Changes with Existence coming in. But even as a coach and seeing everything, it's different than actually feeling it out and being in the server. So much, it's important for him. As he said yesterday, I said, welcome back, he said, not yet. He didn't even feel like he got anything accomplished yesterday.
B rush coming in. There is a smoke deployed towards the side. Body with the P2000. I don't think he can do anything about this. Lovely play so far from Luminosity. Really effective flashbang. Really sent Body packing. And for now, they're looking like they're going to boost up towards heaven, but this could be a misplay. 3 players coming in towards shore, and they will get a player up and the opening frag. So now looking much more stable for Luminosity.
Trying to do what he can, does turn it around to spot out Body rotating back in, but he's well aware of the fact that Kenny still exists within construction. He's now left alone, does hit it. Lovely shot on the Neckers, but unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be much in the round. As it is confirmed, Yell finds the shot bomb. Planted late, but it doesn't matter. It's both pistol rounds going the T side, and Luminosity a chance to perhaps return serve.
Now there is a bit of a reputation behind G2. They do enjoy a force buy. I'm almost certain we're going to see that in the second round. Just want to make sure we see Kenny S go for the eco here. Obviously, we know how valuable he is with the orb. Like to see him stay full eco, which he is. So that's absolutely fine. The rest of the guys can get deagles, armors, P250s. Kenny S will keep himself at a decent amount of cash. So you love to see that. Just wanted to make sure he has the orb in that first gun round. This is looking quite promising for G2. Go for that nice B execution here. You could run into a stack, but there are 3 players on the other side, so I wouldn't say it's going to be too scary for them or we'll see whether Smiths can get anything done here. He's got the close range Deagle, and that's a lovely shot from Showtime. But fully flashed, will be taken down, but still they maintain the man advantage here. Not for long.
Dropped temporarily. Like does pull one back as he hits Shocks, but Yell's the one that needs to make the contact aggressively. And Kenny able to stay alive, controls the peak, does good damage. That'll give Existence a chance, but he's got a long way to go and a lot of work ahead of him with PKL, especially on 100 HP. Immediate trade. There is in the end, that could have gotten ugly.
There is a conversation to be had. If you're G2 right now, just taking just P250s in that second round, you've got a massive lead right now. You don't need to steal that round away. You're not at a coordinated team right now. You haven't had much practice. Your CT side is going to be difficult, so it's considered the easier side of the map. But if you've got a lack of practice, the coordination can be really off. I'd rather have all the utility, the AWP, the defuse kits, give myself a real fighting chance in those initial gun rounds. Now they'll be struggling somewhat. I'll take the full eco now, but this should be 11-7, no problem at all. LG just making sure they keep 5 players alive. That's not even going to happen here. Yell gets dropped. P2000 will take him down. Ekans will be there to recover the situation. I don't think this will be too uncomfortable towards the end.
Good hold trip steal. It was a MAC 10 that they lost, so not a big problem. And knowing that it's an attractive weapon when you're only on pistols, Steel babysits it and is able to pull the situation back. Shock survives with 2 HP. And Existence is in this as well, but really not much to argue. Minute and 10 seconds. Luminosity can slow it down, play it to perfection at this point in time with the bomb. A bomb that heads toward B, based on the fact that Nikas has gone aggressive and gotten into the stairwell. Being that far forward, he wouldn't be able to see the window, so it's not 100% clear, but PKL will take that information and work with it. Well found, and now we get into the gun rounds. You're right to say that G2 could have had the argument of going more aggressive on the buy, but I personally like to see that they're being conservative, because we know it's been a problem for G2 and Envy and various French teams. Even go back to Titan, you could argue it was still an issue, the force buying, and especially in this event, don't give anything away that you don't have to.
Here we go, first gun round. Kenny S without armor, could be bit of an issue, obviously with the smoke and flashbang instead. G2 can pick this one up, they'll be right back in it, but if LG do, I dare say they can pull this one back. We'll have a look as to how it transpires. Peek out, making his way towards connector right now, and there's a bit of wallbang attempts from a show. Time there towards Shaw, but that's where Kenny S is. He needs to be very careful. With no armor, he's extremely squishy. Steele and Nekis will make their way towards long. This is quite a fast-paced default from the Brazilians here, looking to get towards the bathrooms. Kenny S just exploring his options towards Shaw. He'll be looking towards the Shaw pipe in a second. PKL in the connector right now. So the B side of the map actually open. Really G2. Just getting information here. His body starts to probe towards T-spawn. He's going to get that intel very soon. That means Smiths and Shoxy can essentially fall back towards the A side. We'll see if that rings true in a second. Smiths, you can see him starting to move on the radar, and Shoxy as well. They've got the information. They're going to head back towards the A side. This is fantastic by body. He's all the way in T-spawn right now. He's locked in LG. They haven't operated quickly enough. You can't be so slow when you've let half the map completely open, and just hope that G2 respects the fact that you might have presence towards B. execution coming in, but 4 G2 players waiting for them.
Yeah, all in position. Kenny as well is going to slide out with the AWP. Flash goes over. Now he's aware that they're there. The problem is he's got to get his back in time. Certainly does, but speaking of time, it's Showtime that'll take him down. Trade it back by Existence. Showtime, again, the one to offset the damage, but it's all onto Body, rotating a well distance from that connector. So smoke down, bomb planted. Yell's already backed out toward long. He can't catch the planter. PKL, good find. Yell knows exactly where he is. AWP, and he's got the distance to cover. Well struck, and you said it. If G2 didn't win the first gun round, there's a chance LG pulled this back.
Yeah, absolutely so. Now it's going to be a guaranteed eco now for the French boys. It's going to be 11-9. That's if they don't pull off something absolutely miraculous here on the full eco, but we'll see. Nice work from LG, even with the 4-man stack towards the A side, they come out on top. Sure, it came down to a 1 versus 1, but you're on the T side right now. Money's not such a massive factor, and it will be Existence, who's... What has he done? Has he purchased fully? Existence has gone all in with a FAMAS armor. He's brought himself down to 0. I guess they get maximum loss bonus next round anyway, so he's banking on the fact he'll just be on an SMG and going to see what he can do with the FAMAS here.
Is this miscommunication already from the in-game leader?
I'm not sure. That's a bizarre call from him. It's not that the FAMAS is really going to change the outcome of the round. We'll see. Maybe he's got something crazy in store for us.
It's definitely one worth asking him about afterward. Because if he's thinking they're going to buy... And they don't, based on their old occurrences, can certainly set them off. Existence with the gun already spotted, forced back onto the back stairs. Vision with that Molotov down, and Showtime able to follow up on it. Shox has to rotate, Deagle in hand, good first find on a neck. He goes back out for more, but can't quite find Yell as he gets over toward the bomb box. That Deagle still menacing, but 3 players to hold the angle, and Showtime gets tagged. He's down to 9 HP, 2 kills in the round, but it's Smiths and Body to pull it back in that. Is going to haunt them. Look at the HP on 4 players from Luminosity. It's frustratingly low, but they can't find the kills, and Yell and the AWP picked up as he backed off, is easily able to close this. It is just Smiths to find, but no chance against 4.
Well, there we go. FAMAS, that's almost nothing there. Now we'll see Existence with just $3,400. He can get an M4, but have no armor, no utility. That's why they'll take the pause. I think that must have been a lack of communication. I'm not really sure. Maybe he's just hoping to get a couple of frags and be fine for the next round. But now he's got $3,500. His teammates can't buy. They'll just be discussing how they get themselves out of this sticky situation they found themselves in there. Maybe go for the double orb setup. They could do that and put him on an SMG instead, or a shotgun towards the connector. The unpause will come through. They haven't purchased anything just yet. Luminosity now on 9 rounds. It's 5-0 in the second half. And this is where I said G2 would struggle. It is a CD-sided map, but the coordination, the rotations on the overpass can be a little bit tricky. And it will be the single orb for Kenny. Existence on the FAMAS again. And he gets Kevlar, 1 smoke in the flashbang. So not ideal, but still okay. And it will be a B-sided approach from the Luminosity here. They're going to see the Molotov on the bomb side. Flashbang and smokes going in. Showtime to lead the way. Can he open things up? Looking for that first shot. Already behind enemy lines now. They are going to find the first kill, but Body still fighting strong on the bomb site here. And Smiths with 2 miraculous kills with the M4A4. That's exactly what they needed here to stand a chance.
Good read by Body. Showtime that deep in the site could have been a huge problem, especially where he got behind the pillar and he thought he had safety, but the kill solves all. Bomb goes down behind the barrels. Little that PKL can do. He will back off. 1:17. A misstep from G2, and he gets us to a 1 versus 2, and he might have a chance into it, but that doesn't seem likely based on their position, based that they know the bomb is inside of the site.
Well, there we go. G2 so happy they went for the rush there. They had a lack of utility, a lack of firepower, and they get fed the B rush there. Great work by Smith. The 2 frags, but still, PK out in with a shout of this one. He is going to have a 3 versus 1 situation in front of him. 100 HP and just under a minute to work with, but the bomb is down on the site. Needs to find a very quick open. Opening kill and bait out the second player on the bomb site here. We'll see if we can get anything done. Smiths. Edging towards his position, but Kenny S is there with the AWP. Misses the first shot, but gets the intel.
Needs to find the kill immediately and lose little HP. Didn't get that far, didn't even get the kill. Smiths to shut it down 12-9. You're right, they pull it back, got there quickly and found the rush. Gives them money to work with. Does potentially hold a reset, but 3 players staying. Alive, they should be able to withstand. There's certainly guns available still on the T side. Just a note for Yelp. Smith's coming alive now. Henry's finally hit double digits, on to 10 kills. Everyone's fairly even on the G2 side.
That was a nice round from him. Good solid defense. It's Kenny S. I think that shot a little bit uncharacteristic for him, but it will be Neckers to find it. It's going to be a 5 versus 4 now. That's perfect for a T side over par. Opening kill, because now you've got loads of time. You're taking down the AWP players while you can start to be maybe a little bit more audacious with your picks. You know you're going to have heads up duels against M4s as Body with the reaction play pushes off short, trying to get some intel here once again. He might take a risk and tell his teammates just to focus on the A bomb site. Now he's got himself towards that connector. Smith's AK in hand, trying to find some heads on the other side of the map, but can't get anything done so far. His teammates just lying in wait towards the bathrooms.
PKL's going to start to flush those out, and Shox backs off. He'll just barely get around before being spotted. So more passive from G2. Steal not. Peeking wide, is unable to spot, therefore Existence getting back inside of the site. Molotov to hold them at bay a little bit further, 46 seconds on the clock. A rotation coming back over as well from Smiths. To desperately bait Shox in. Existence is going to have to be aggressive to do so because Shox in that corner. The aggro's gone. They're going to line up. In front of him, he waits to fire. He didn't even need to get more than 1 kill because Smiths does an excellent job for the one and done side of the truck. Swap over rather than reload, and that AK's got plenty of ammunition to take. Down net bomb as well, and it's Yell in a 1 versus 2, and what would be back-to-back rounds for G2. Bomb will be gathered, but with 15 seconds, Shox knows he doesn't want to allow him to plant it. Immediately goes back out and takes the duel.
pitch perfect play there from Shoxy. This guarantees round victory there. Aggressive at the very start, baited in, and you can see this is working in tandem with Smith. They are classic friends, and they're playing classic Counter-Strike there as well. Fantastic stuff from Shox as he manages to drop the Molotov on. Finds himself some time to fall back, pushes through his enemy's Molotov, and then get 3 kills in total. Really, really nice stuff there from G2. We'll have a look at the money situation for Luminosity. They're all hovering around the $3,000 mark, and G2 now at touching distance of closing out the map. What's the play? Do you go for the force buy? Try and bring out everything you can, a couple of rifles, some pistols, and hold on. Or do you allow G2 to get to 14 rounds and then have a very difficult uphill battle to try and get yourself back in the game? It looks like the partial buy will come out. A couple of CZ, some armor as well. Everyone kind of equal and flagging the G2 side. Great to see them having a great team effort today. Smiths will be on 12, Body on 13, and Kenny S 14, and Existence of Shoxy there with 16 frags apiece. PG50s are out, Eagles as well. A couple of smokes for the team side, only 1 player of armor, and you can see G2 reading this tremendously well as Existence of Smiths will have the MP9s. Perfect weapon to chew through these unarmored opponents.
It does, yeah, it looks great for the MP9s and for the SMGs, but it does kind of put a little bit of pressure on the double ops. I often talk about that and the fact that double ops can get overrun quite quickly. And Smith's going down already. That's one of the SMGs gone. Fortunately, they found a kill before such time as Existence was able to open the round on a BKL. Showtime. Solved by that further aggression from the SMG. Now it's Kenny with a shooting gallery. Time to pad some stats. He's got 1 already. Round looking more and more secure by the second. As they walk into his AWP, a rotation of 2 players, and there will be a flank behind as well. As Neck realizes that, it shocks to get the kill, and we go 2 rounds from the end for G. Luminosity still held to 9. We'll have guns again in this round.
LG up against the ropes now. 14 rounds established for G2 on their opponent's pick. There is money available for the Brazilians as we get into round number 20. Here, 5 AKs are out. Yell won't have the support system of the AWP to fall back onto, and he's up against Body and Kenny, both with orbs in hand. As Kenny looks at his first pick, you know he's so good at this shot. Now he misses out this time, throws a grenade to try and do a little bit of damage there. Doesn't really connect, but there it is. That one certainly. He does, takes down Steel, drops to Smoke, secures his position, and now Showtime doing a little bit of damage there towards Body, but he did get legged in the process, down to 20 points. This is not looking good.
Neck is gone as well as Shox is able to find him with the M4, does so without even taking any damage. So now a 5 versus 2.5, if you want to call it that. Showtime on 20 HP has to be perfect on the AK. Kenny unrelinquishing his position. Hold in front of the bathroom. Smiths has confidence there toward Monster, then they'll slowly be funneling in that direction. Good find for him. He's certainly warming up to things. Takes down Yell, as well as the mentioned low HP player on Showtime. It's PKL defined against 5. Bomb down, and it's going to be map point. Smiths to confirm it for G2.
Disappointing round there. They really had to step up, LG, and they couldn't find a single frag. Tried to probe towards middle. Kenny has found the first, funnels him towards B, and then that double off combo working in tandem. Smith's having a really decent game here as well. Impressed by his contribution so far, and that should be the game. It's going to be a very difficult procedure to get 6 rounds in a row, and even to get over round number 25. They've got 4 CZs here and a single UMP. That's their strongest weapon, as they are on map point now. And Existence, flash on the start. He knows the money's going to be low. He's no stranger to the economy system of Counter-Strike. He'll be tracking it himself and knowing they don't have to be too aggressive here. They can use these AWPs, hold up in crossfires, and make Luminosity work for this.
Body weights from window smoked off. Deep smoke. He may have been able to play that on the ledge and still be able to fall back inside of it, but he commits to getting inside of the site, and rightfully so. He's able to take down Neck at arrival. WP for body this time, and Steel falls next. Kenny on the flank. Map done. G2 are going to take Luminosity. These picks 16-9. Much better performance than they had yesterday, of course, against Luminosity, who also struggled. They'll take what they can get at this point in time.
Well, I heard coming into this tournament that G2 had 3 maps prepared. It didn't seem like Mirage was one of them, but I was actually quite impressed with this. A great team effort overall. A little bit shaky at times, and still a little bit questionable with their financial decisions, but a great CT side towards the end there. Impressed with Smiths and Existence. There are question marks coming into this tournament. Would they still have it? Would they still be able to compete at this level? And I would say that's a resounding yes. Great stuff from Smiths, especially in that B-bomb side.
Yeah, and again, this is a very important map for them. This series in general. First off, every map that they can play this event, whether they're successful or not, every map they play is further notes that they'll be able to take home. But a map like this against an opponent like Luminosity, Smiths is a perfect example. Get kills on the board, get comfortable that last, or I should say the penultimate round, round 15 when they secure the 15th round. In the perfect example of it, he's able to mow down 3 players, goes back out, takes a peek aggressively, confidently, wins the duel. That's perfect. That's exactly what he needs.
Yeah, really impressed with that. That's looking very good. That is going to be the first map going in favour of G2 on their opponent's pick. It's going to be Cash next, and we'll be back with that after this break.
Let's talk about hubs. Oh, what's a hub, you ask? Think of it as a miniature Faceit, with all of its tools at your disposal. Whether you want to play with your community, run a league for your school, engage with fans while streaming, or create local leagues with prizes. Hubs let you do that and much more. Join or create hubs right now on Faceit. Head to Faceit now and discover hubs.
Rocket League is coming back to NBC Sports, and you can kill the game. The Open, presented by 7-Eleven and Frisk, is a chance for you and a teammate to compete against the best Rocket League players in the world. To go play live in the studio for the $100,000 prize pool. Sign up now at universalopen.gg. Prove you're the best Rocket League duo in the world. Right here on NBC Sports.
biggest affair for G2 when you consider the struggle at the start and 3 rounds in a row for Luminosity when the guns came up. But stealing their map and looking more confident toward the end, it's only getting harder for Luminosity, especially on Cash, as you say. They need fragging.
What I liked about it from G2 was a great team effort. It seemed like everyone was at least contributing, finding impactful frags. We saw some great early instances from Kenny S, looked like that flicking, and a nice high-octane CS was in action from him. But then towards the end, it was Smiths who was doing very well. Existence was holding his own, and now they go on to Cash. G2 got the better fragging unit so far, and this is their pick. It's a high fragging map, and surely this will be the 2-0 at this point.
You'd expect that, especially, I mean, looking back at some of the highlights, especially after the way things went for G2. Ops on multiple people at different times throughout the game. Smiths didn't actually pick it up as frequently as we might have thought on the secondary opposition. Body had it obviously in the round we just saw. Shocks took it on the T side, but Kenny was consistent, and that's important. He may not have been super flashy, looked good at the start,
yes,
but consistency is what they need from a guy like Kenny.
Absolutely, and we move on to Cash next. I will say one thing about Luminosity. Yell looked fantastic at moments, and the fact that he could actually dictate the pace of his AWP action, that bodes well for going on towards Cash. You always talk about Cash for AWPers. They have so many options on the CT side. They can find those opening picks. They can do some big work. So hopefully Yell can actually maybe get back on the horse and see whether he can maybe carry his team forward.
I completely agree with that. I mean, if you looked at the way that he was playing front bathrooms and getting that first pick, I think he did it sustainably 3 rounds in a row in which they won all of them.
Yeah.
Very encouraging, as you say, as Cash does offer that option. I didn't mean for that, yeah. But you get the point. And you always talk about it as well, because it's a map in which you can be very aggressive. You can be assertive. And if they can get a double op rolling, it would be beneficial. They didn't really go to that in map 1. But if he can change it up and be dynamic at the very least, it gives them options on the rifles. Can hold a passive middle if he plays towards Z. Having a solid AWP on Cash gives you so much more to work with.
And a double AWP setup as well. I'm surprised we didn't see that from Luminosity even once. They definitely have double AWP potential there. Didn't really seem to opt for it at all, even where times are getting desperate. Remember, they were I think it was 10-2 down or 10-3 down, something like that. And at this point, they could have pulled out a different setup, changed things up a little bit. Didn't opt for it at all. And I guarantee you to see double AWPs now from G2. And on Cash, it can be very powerful indeed. They're looking like they're going to take this one 2-0, but there is enough skill on Luminosity to bounce back. It's now going to be G2's map pick, and they're doing the knife right now. I'd actually say it's quite an important one. The CT side for G2 didn't look quite as strong. There was a nice finish towards the end, but they definitely gave up. I think it was 6 rounds before they really started going on the CT half. It is going to be a finish there, and it will be Luminosity to pick things up. So 1 versus 1 between Yell and Smiths right now. Let's see who's going to win it. Smiths will, and presumably they will start on the CT side. We'll see. Most teams seem to be more comfortable there. It is technically considered a team map, though by the smallest of margins, by a few percent overall. And it should be the second map here. Third map, if required, will be Inferno. I don't think it will get there from what I've seen so far, but I'd have to be proven wrong, as we did see both of these teams get battered yesterday. It was 16-1 against FaZe for Luminosity, then 16-4 for G2 as they lost to NRG. So both of these teams looking to prove themselves right now. Half funds have been exchanged. We're going to get into the server right here, right now. It's the second quarterfinal of the day, the second map. LG on the trail right now, and G2 looking to close things out. And we'll see G2 starting on the CT side here. The buy starting to come through. We're going to have 4 sets of armor for Luminosity, and Steel with the utility. Just a single smoke and a couple of flashbangs suggest they'll head towards A. Haven't really got enough to operate efficiently in the B-bomb side.
So T-side start for LG. PKL's going to go out toward the door. 4 inside of A main suggests immediately A take, but look at the presence from G2. 4 players in mid, 3 players in mid. 2 of them going to push through the garage. Didn't get Shocks over toward B, but that means they're going to wrap around fine on the retake, and what a hold inside of the site. They'll get toward the bomb default position now to get it down. Neck the one to do so. Kenny can't defend against that. He just has to stay alive. Good play from Neck as well. Immediately to find a kill afterward. Dink comes to body. Wow. Holds it. If that kill went the other way, we might have had a different round, because it would have opened up position for Neckes to wrap around behind the red crate, start to control the angle and defend the bomb, but it's G2 with a retake on A by design, and Kenny playing very well inside of the site to take the pistol round.
Yeah, that's all Kenny, man. The fact that he's holding into the A side alone at that point, that's not a retake setup. He's there fighting. He's up against 5 players, hiding inside the smoke, timing it well, gets 1 pick, then hides away once again, and then finishes off with 2 frags. Stayed alive. Sure, the bomb got planted, but overall, successful round for G2 there with 3 players surviving. AK is expected to come out in the 3rd, and indeed they will. Just PT-50s here and a couple of flashbangs. That's really all LG can do. Best case scenario, they get a bomb down. I don't think that will be happening, but we'll see. Shoxy to be challenged first as he uses the MP9 to great effect. We'll find 3 kills, probably 1 more as well.